Call this meeting to order. It's 10 a.m. Roll call, sir.
Commissioner Gator.
Here.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Here.
Commissioner Buckley. A quorum is present.
Okay, thank you. As you wish, please rise for the pledge and the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sir.
Father God, we thank you today for all the gifts that you've given us. We ask for your guidance. We ask that you set your Holy Spirit to be upon these people as we decide the future. Give them wisdom, give them discernment, and help them lead this county into the future. All these things we ask in your Son's name, Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. The consent agenda is very simple. Just the minutes of last week's meeting. Sir, make a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes for the meeting of June 22nd.
I second that. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. There are two tabled agenda items. I think we'll finally be able to work on them. We finally got the signed agreements from SSC Engineering, and we've read it over and we like it. Our attorneys looked at it and he likes it. So I would like to present this for approval.
All right.
Motion?
Make a motion, we approve the SSC documents and move forward.
Okay, and I second that. Any questions?
Is this on the jail?
A lot of, yeah, this starts with the jail and road and bridge primarily.
Okay.
And
It's
they're
the
gonna-
overall contract with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the things
Not for a
that,
specific project,
Okay.
just the county as a whole.
It is not for a specific project.
right, so they can, and one of the things that we need to do, we've been doing some improvements inside the building. We may have to do them in order to get, the state law requires us to have a building building permit anytime that we were, so that's one of the things, we've been a little lax that we've done these COVID things in kind of emergency
Yeah.
situation. We need to get there, seek their say, and as I talked to the city, they said sometimes they'll just say there's no, they, it's, you know, whatever you would call it, that we really don't need it to be engineered because it has no bearing on the structure, so that they can get that stamp, but we still have to have that stamp for the state when we do something, and
Okay.
they could do this for us.
Any other questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Next one is award a road overlay project, Hillsborough Road, sir.
John Gross, Highway Administrator. We are ready to move on this project and award it to Joker's Paving and Contracting. Total amount's about $276,000 for the overlay of Hillsborough Road from the intersection of Hazel Run to Y Highway.
Okay. What's the mileage on that?
I think it's about 5 miles, 5.5.
Why?
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 Moving along. Motion, please.
Make a motion, we award the road overlay project for Hillsborough Road.
And I second that. Any questions? Yeah, Rich.
Any highway striping involved in that, John?
Eventually it will be. That'll be later on in the year, once all of our primary routes that are getting overlaid this year are completed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, here's the general business now, the general agenda. And the first one is Brian Briley. He's gonna talk about some air conditioners at the courthouse.
Brian Briley, maintenance supervisor. We had 2 air conditioners at the courthouse. One of them is limping by, got a compressor bad. TMI, $83,285.
Is that for both of them?
That's to do an upgrade. I had cost of replacing compressors only, and it was $24,000. I'm suggesting we do the upgrade to the new Freon. It'll be a whole outside unit and inside coil
On both of them?
on one.
On one of them?
The other one was a rooftop unit for Division 3 office. We put Freon in it 3 different times. It was 12 years old, so we replaced it for $8,630.
So that's already been replaced?
It's already been replaced.
And you're
And,
seeking approval under the emergency clause, is that?
Emergency.
And what's your total dollars?
8,306, I didn't go on the 360. And $82,285.
Well, 90,000 or so. Okay, close.
Well, those will need to be two different motions.
Say it again?
Those
Two
would
different-
be
I'll do-
separate motions for the, since they're separate projects.
One to approve the emergency, one to approve the replacement.
Okay, let's take the outside unit first. This is the one that's 82,000. And that's a outside unit entirely and the coil.
Yeah, it does half of the first and second floor, half of the building across the street.
Okay. And as I've asked you, we really have no options on this.
You got no option.
Okay.
It's 15 years old, so it's right at the line for
Is that the emergency one?
No.
No.
That'd be
I got the bids on that.
So,
one.
I got bids on that one.
Okay.
Okay, I asked for a motion to approve replacement of, I think it's the left one up there, right?
Yep.
Okay. Replace that unit.
We're not gonna describe the motion as the left one, probably.
No, here, you can make a motion that we accept the outside one for $82,285.
Okay, I second that. Any questions on that bigger unit replacement? Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. Now, let's approach the already replaced unit.
I had to replace,
For the emergency.
For the
This
emergency.
is the
Emergency.
8630, right?
there was 80-something degrees in there for the Division 3 ladies.
Anytime it goes over $6,000, it requires special action on that, and special methods of purchasing.
And that was the $8,600.
$360.
I make a motion, we approve the emergency expenditure of $8,630.
The exact amount, we'll take it off there.
And I'll write the letter that needs to go with this.
That basically adjusts the budget for that
Okay.
emergency.
And you've got that motion in?
Yes.
Okay, and I'll second that. Any questions? Okay, that was already done, but it's a have-to case.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Okay, matrix adjustment, HR is gonna be talking to us.
Corey Strum, Human Resources. On our current matrix, we have a deputy assessor, a real estate director, and a personal property director. However, we don't have steps 2, 3, and 4 for those, so there's no pay adjustments right at this time, but we want to go ahead and get those added for future.
Okay. And you're gonna remove one too.
Yes, we are. We're going to remove field supervisor. We have an employee that's retiring. The elected official coming in is going to give those duties to existing employees.
Okay, motion,
Make a motion, we accept the matrix adjustment for the assessment.
I'll second that. Any questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you, Corey. Okay, Ward Road Overlay Project, this is not the table item, it's another item.
John Gross, Highway Administrator. Tomorrow we will be opening the Busick Bridge that the County Road and Bridge Department has been building over the last several months. So Busick Road, we would like to award that project to Lead Belt Materials for the overlay, approximately 4 miles of road. Cost is $240,000.
And that's
And you
full?
have a full length, and it will not be a full length overlay.
Okay,
It will go from Worley over here on the right. And it'll actually start right about here.
Okay.
That part was overlaid 2 years ago. That first
that's
part
the
is
new
used.
fill area?
That is the area that we filled, approximately 36 inches. So,
Okay, that was the marsh right there at that
that is
time.
correct. So it's my recommendation, we go with Lead Belt Materials to overlay Busick Road.
Okay,
All right.
motion,
I make a motion, we award the overlay project to Lead Belt Materials.
and I second that. Any questions? I thought I'd ask you about that on the full length, but I misunderstood it.
Okay.
All right. No questions or comments? Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, thank you, John. Okay, go ahead.
All right, Commission, I am going to seek approval today, and it's my recommendation that we start the engineering process on the Berry Road Bridge. this has been an issue the last 3 or 4 years in regards to safety concerns, actually since it was demolished in 13. The engineering cost is gonna be about $280,000. That puts the projection of the bridge, just the bridge alone, $2.8 million. Now, there's some federal funding that is available, there's gonna be more coming available, towards the end of the year. So I feel if we don't act upon this now, we're gonna be behind everybody. Materials are gonna be hard to come by, contractors are gonna be tied up with projects, so we would like to start this as soon as possible.
Okay.
Now, this will be just the beginning phase of the project. We've been in contact with the city of Bonne Terre, with MoDOT. They were not suspecting us to be building this bridge this soon. So there are gonna be some different things that we're gonna have to talk to with MoDOT. We would like to overlay the road from Bonne Terre at the city limits and the county maintenance to the bridge. That's approximately 1.3 miles. And then in the future, we would like to take it from the bridge up to JJ Highway, as there is some construction going on up there and some possible heavy equipment that will be utilizing the road.
Okay.
So this engineering will be with Smith & Company, which is our on-call engineering firm for our bridges. And not to get that confused with the SSC, it will be with Smith & Company.
Well, I've been working with our attorney and we'll be working with our outside auditor to verify that this is a good reason to build for medical reasons, because traffic tie-ups, usually in bad weather, and helicopters can't fly, and that's the only way to get to the hospital.
It is, without taking some rural county roads or some rural
There you go.
state roads, yes.
So you can see the huge detour there, and if you don't know it, you're already lost. So
Right.
that's the only way to get from here to St. Louis, to the hospitals and such. So, anyway, there are ways, but
Right.
it's a long way around.
That is correct.
So, okay, so it's your.
My recommendation, we start the engineering on Berry Road Bridge.
Okay, do you have a motion?
I'll be glad to make it. I'd like to make a motion that we go through with the engineering for the Berry Road Bridge.
I'll second that. Questions? Yes?
The previous slide said something about building the bridge, but really we're approving the design of the bridge.
It's correct. This is the start
This is
of it.
phase one.
Okay.
Yes.
You don't wanna spend $250,000 and then not build it, so.
Well, I was, yeah.
Right.
But that is a possibility.
It is a possibility.
It is a
You're right,
possibility.
you got to, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Some background on this, if you will, Commissioners. About 3 years ago, I believe, we sat with LJ Hart and Company to discuss alternative financing for this bridge, because at that time, there was discussion from ODOT of closing the crossovers on north of Big River Bridge on Highway 67.
Right.
There was, they presented at that time a number of different proposals, including a personal property tax, possible sales tax, a specific community investment tax, I think is what it was called. And at that time, we didn't think it was feasible, didn't think it was fair for the taxpayers, for the entire county to possibly fund this bridge. Since then, with Road and Bridge, Treasurer's office, and the Auditor's office, we think we have found maybe a key to get into some of that financing, as well as what John said, because of the potential infrastructure bill that might be coming our way.
Yeah, this hasn't been a project that was
No.
just started, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Commissioner Wilkinson and Mullins have both looked at avenues to try to get this bridge built. Unfortunately, though, the funds just weren't out there.
And the safety aspects as far as the crossovers, as you mentioned, are huge. You're sitting at the crossover wanting to pull out, and you're looking head on at a car coming at you way back there, you forget that you're doing 80 mile an hour.
Sure.
You're looking at the front of it.
Right.
And so there are lots of wrecks up through there. So we're trying to do that. Also, there are new businesses up on the old road. And
Central Stone is supposed to be putting in a quarry up there, which is gonna bring a lot of heavy truck traffic in and out of those at-grade crossings on Highway 67. So I'm sure MoDOT will be looking at alternatives to the at-grade crossings, whether they're acceleration lanes and J-turns, some of those acreage crossings.
Hey, Harold,
Yes,
one more question. Was that the old Highway 67?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so it had been used extensively in the past?
That is correct.
Thank you.
any other questions?
State, by the way, the state of Missouri closed that bridge. The
They
county did
closed
not.
it in 2013 after their inspections, and there were some VRO funds that were used to demolish the bridge, which is the first stage of building the bridge back. So we will not be able to use any VRO funds on this bridge.
Okay, any other questions or comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, Nick Jones gonna talk about, grant approval.
Nick Jones, Emergency Management Director. Just seeking approval, the EMPG is dropping new grant, it's the American Rescue Plan Act. It goes along with the EMPG grant we've already applied for. We haven't got the official, we got that one yet, but we did get a letter back saying we had to change a few things, so it looks like it is gonna happen, which is gonna pay for the assistance that we get approved and all that. They did have to cut a few things back, benefits, they cut some of those back a little bit, and then there was also, we had put in for travel expenses and conference expenses, they had to cut that out as well. They said there was a big increase in personnel, so that got cut back, but they were able to get another grant release, which we can apply for, different things, like, we had applied in the last grant for, try to get a vehicle, and that was denied, but we can apply for it again, this one. We were looking at getting supplies for the Homeland Security trailers, certain things like that. It's a 50-50 grant. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that we're gonna look into, possibly seeing what we can get through the grant. And then once we get a total, everything will come back and present it to you guys and show you. We're just trying to get approval to start the paperwork, get it started. It's gotta be turned in by the 16th of July. And it's supposed to run between August 23rd of 2021 to December 21st of 2022.
Okay, so this is your approval, request for approval to apply?
Yes.
Okay.
And you'll work with the auditors and all that.
He's been very, very
I
cooperative
figured you
with
had
us.
that, just wanted to
Yep.
throw that out there just to make sure, see she's smiling, right? She's smiling.
Okay, motion?
I make a motion that we apply for another emergency management grant.
I'll second that. Questions? I was looking at the wording, grant performance, what's,
That's just what they
Okay,
call,
that's-
I'm not really sure honestly.
okay. Any other questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Approval of the draft independent audit for last year.
I think you clicked the button, Harold.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, I must have really pushed the button. Okay.
Louis Seigerlich, County Auditor. Gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, in my hands we have the initial draft stating financial statements and independent auditors' reports and supplementary information December 31, 2020. I'm sure, gentlemen, you'll be happy. We have some copies of this for you. You'll be able to read every sentence, I'm sure, of that 51 pages. Daniel Jones and Associates released it yesterday, and your audit manager will provide the details in a moment concerning all of that, but I think you'll be pleased. I want to thank the treasurer and his office. Parks Peterson and Dana Jenkins were very instrumental in assisting in this audit. There were actually 2 audits this year because of the CARES funding we received, which caused an extra burden on our staff, particularly for Amber Mongelay, who helped distribute over $5 million to local county agencies. We also had the responsibility of more grants this year, including, I guess, another one, which makes it over 27. We're up to 28 now. Also including the new Middle Area College grant that we're working with. Bridget Smith should be credited for all that work while we're trying to do these audits, which instituted that this total audit. Emily Holman, in the meantime, consistently processed, I don't know, tens of thousands of invoices so the local vendors can get paid, and at the same time, while we're trying to do the audit, we have Joan King, who is in there, who is trying to balance the county fee offices. With the new federal funds the county received and the impending infrastructure funds expected, this is going to cause an additional burden to our staff, but the anticipated addition to the office will hopefully offset the new and extra workload that we will maintain as we shift titles and job responsibilities. Now, I need to explain to the audience, the auditor's office is charged with confirming and reporting. And I know this causes pain to some office holders. Consequently, there are some offices that we need to update. They need to update their technology for more efficiency. And we also suggest that the county policies be reviewed in the next year, and hope the commission will take charge and update those. Now, for further information, because I'm the opening act, I represent my partner and your audit manager, Amber Mongele.
Didn't touch a thing that time.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Amber Mongele, audit manager of the auditor's office. The auditor's office has worked diligently with Daniel Jones and Associates, our county's independent auditor, to complete the 2020 financial statement audit. In front of you is a draft of this audit report. We are pleased to report there are no financial statement findings for 2020. The 2020 financial statement audit also included what's called a single audit. Single audit is when your federal expenditures or federal grant expenses exceed $750,000. In 2020, St. Francis County had $6,601,053.57 in federal expenditures. The detail of this can be found on page 47 of the audit report. We are also pleased to report there are no federal award findings for 2020. To clarify, the total of federal expenditures is not the amount of federal funds received. This figure is only what is expended or paid out for that fiscal year. Also, this figure does not include state grant expenses or revenue. The auditor's office is required to monitor all grants for compliance, whether the funds are received from the federal government or from the state of Missouri. For 2020, the auditor's office monitored approximately 26 grants for a total of $8,950,807.17 of grant funds received. Of the total grant funds received, the auditor's office monitored a total of $6,791,844.06 in grant expenses. For comparison, the last single audit completed for the county was in 2015 and was for a total federal expenditures of $859,815. As Louis said, most of the increase in these federal awards and expenses for 2020 was due to CARES Act funds. The county received an extension for the use of the CARES Act fund through June 30th of 2021. These expenses associated with the CARES Act, in combination with the recently approved coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds, will result in the county exceeding the threshold for a single audit for not only 2021, but potentially through 2026. The county has also been approved for 2 additional grants in 2021, now 3, to bring our total to approximately 28 or 29 grants. This increasing number of grants every year has resulted in additional monitoring duties in the auditor's office. To properly monitor these grants for compliance and accuracy, the auditor's office is in desperate need of one person being dedicated to grants alone. A dedicated person will also increase efficiency and accuracy of the application process, as well as reduce risk of potential federal audit findings. Federal award findings may hinder the county's ability to to be approved for future grant funding, which, as I said, for 2020, we did not receive any findings. However, we ultimately want to be better. I would like to thank all the departments, as Louis was saying, for their cooperation with the auditor's office, not only with this audit, but with our goals of continuing to be proactive with updating our internal controls and our procedures. At this point, we are requesting the commission to approve the 2020 financial statement audit as presented. We would also like to request permission to work with HR on establishing a grant position within the matrix, at which we will be presented later for approval.
I got a question. You're wanting a motion to approve the draft?
Correct.
That they haven't read yet?
I can assure you it's been thoroughly reviewed by our office on multiple occasions. You're welcome to take time to review this. However, LJ Hart does require a final and approved draft by June 30th.
Tomorrow.
So when are they giving you the completed?
It won't be finalized until the commission approves
Until they
it.
approve it.
Until then, it's just a draft. And we are able to provide LJ Hart with a draft at this point if the commission would choose to approve it next week.
So approving it today would take care of what you need, and we don't have to put anything on the agenda for future or?
Correct.
Uh,
Unfortunately, we just got this draft.
This morning,
It has been changed multiple times over the last,
72 hours.
yes.
The LJ Hart, because of their requirements with our existing bonding, et cetera, requires it has to be done by tomorrow night at midnight. So you have between now and then to read the 51 pages.
And part of the issue with getting a final this final draft was you can find on page, I think they said 11,
Yeah, look at 49.
it's our subsequent events. So
Let's look
as
at the
of
findings, the findings. So
May of
I think,
2020.
don't get me wrong, I think you guys have done a great job, but this Jones is giving you
Tell us.
24 hours.
Hart.
And LJ Hart, and since I own some of his bonds, I would rather know that the commission has actually read things before they approved it, before they send it to my prospectus saying that they're all in favor. You know, so I mean, that's not your fault, but at some point, Jones knows this. I mean, why wouldn't they give you the draft?
Well, it's kind of like
last week?
somebody famous in Congress once said, you have to pass the bill and then
Before you
read
before
it.
you know what's in
Well,
it.
again, we're not pushing. If you guys would like to take this and read it and thoroughly
But
review it.
you're gonna have to act. You're gonna have to act.
Yeah.
what if we had a special meeting tomorrow after we've looked over this tonight? Would that still give you time?
Absolutely.
If we had it.
Okay, we'll call a
It has
special
to,
meeting
it has to
tomorrow.
be after 10:30 tomorrow. So you can make it
After-
11 o'clock.
that's
Because
Because
it's
of
24-hour notice.
So.
Okay,
Which is
10:30
fine.
tomorrow morning, we'll have a special meeting.
11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
And for clarification, part of the holdup was that subsequent event reporting of which the county did pay off their
What-
COPs and potentially in the future won't.
Once
have
again, I think it's
their
great that we don't have any findings.
restriction.
You guys have done a great job, but Jones knows
Well, the
what
only
these restrictions are.
problems is that we've paid off all their debt.
Which is definitely not a
Yes.
problem, it just held up our draft a little bit to get that reporting.
So when-
Okay,
I
let's have a meeting tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock.
I will post that right after this, and then we'll have it properly posted on our website and out front before 11 o'clock.
According to
You have to post a meeting 24 hours before the
It's
meeting.
vote tomorrow,
Yeah, family
Okay.
treatment.
Okay, we'll act on it then.
but this room is taken, so where would you like the meeting?
Just a quick
We
meeting
will,
back.
we can have the meeting out in the lobby. I will
Oh,
set up
well,
chairs, anybody that
They've
wants
got
to
a
come.
conference room, they've got a conference room.
Meeting, well, as long as that would hold the public, that's fine.
Is that all right?
I'm gonna interject something. This would have been submitted last Friday had it not been for the lack of information in the public minutes previously. And because we did not have the transcription of those minutes correct, because it was not correct, we had to go back and review the information via the video and then transfer that information to them. And then that's when they reviewed, when Daniel Jones reviewed it and resubmitted a revised draft.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll have it set up for we'll post it for your conference room, or do you want to do it out in
Conference room's fine.
It should be
Yeah,
formality where you got a chance to.
It's open to the public, anybody's invited.
Yeah.
I'll post it.
Okay,
We'll have crackers and cheese.
Well, you better have some, you say that.
okay. So we'll delay this until then.
Make 'em, yeah.
We don't need a motion or anything.
No, 11
Okay.
o'clock tomorrow, okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Remy, and thank
By
you.
the way, we will also have, once it's approved, we'll have hard copies of the audit in our office, and then there will also be all of it
Put on the website.
transmitted on the website.
Okay. And great job, thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right, we'll be closed July 5th for our official holiday. And then Rice Road update, we sent 98 documents, I think was the final count, to our attorney for his review. It took us a week to put everything together. And thank you for John and everybody that did the work on that. And we don't have his return information yet, so we are working on that. Danny Edgar, and that is not Colonel Club. That is Danny, and he's retiring after tomorrow, end of the month. And he's a great guy. He's really knows the real estate business and all that, and mapping and all that. He's a great source of information, and they've hired a company to replace him, basically. So we'll miss him. And I think they're gonna have a walkthrough party for him tomorrow down there. Next regular meeting, it'll be the new term, but since Monday's a holiday, we'll still meet on Tuesday. The state law says you meet on the first Monday of each month, each term. And so that'll be the term on that. Okay. Other business, correspondence. I don't have anything, do you?
I don't know.
Public comments.
I was gonna ask you about Rice Road, but you answered that.
Okay.
And-
Yeah, we're working on it.
So-
And the last time, I said I can't promise you a date on the answer to it. It just took us pretty much a week to get the stuff together. Then we got it off to him yesterday. Yesterday.
Okay, but you will let us know.
Will, yes.
Okay. And, did you have any discussions, with the commission regarding Rice Road in the last week, or
No, not.
your commission didn't have anything? Because I would like the minutes of it, if I could.
No,
Right,
we
no.
didn't. No.
Okay.
Just other than sending the information on it.
And then, I was preparing, I had a couple of questions. Clay's not here, so I can't ask that one, but, last night when I was going over these past commission, meetings, on May 3rd, whenever you walked the road, Rice Road, and you took as your witnesses, John, you were there, Clay Copeland,
Well, they weren't.
and Jason Harrison was there, and you reported that you talked to 5, and everybody was on board, and you made that comment the next day on May 4th. You walked the road on the 3rd, you reported it on the 4th, you all took action of it on the 4th.
No, we didn't, actually, it was the following week, wasn't it, or maybe, was it a week later?
Well, you recommended it, you
Yeah.
recommended it on the 4th, so I saw where you recommended about everything, and then it went into kind of like
Maybe
that.
to the 5th, right? I'm not sure of the dates, that's fine, go be
Okay.
But, right, but I don't think my exact words was everyone was for
Okay,
it.
well, yeah, I've got a question, and after looking at this, and John, you made the comment that this was about progress,
Right.
okay? My question is, if this was done in the name of progress, how come you, or John, or Clay Copeland, and Harold, maybe you, because you voted on this, how come nobody showed up the day that they were cutting this road in there, if it was done in progress, to witness it? How come nobody showed up that day? That's your area, that's your
It
area.
is, but then he wanted to know, well, why I didn't come to your house, but I did.
Hey, we're not
Didn't
talking,
come.
hey, don't be flat, we're not talking about my
I'm not
house.
under-
I'm
just
talking
please
about.
start with the
Hey, guys,
question.
guys,
Okay, well, I'm,
One more time.
he interrupted me.
Okay,
My-
please restate your question. if
My
you would
question
like.
is, if this was done in the cutting into this road
Yes.
was in the name of progress, and you said it was progress, how
Yes.
come nobody from the county was there to witness progress?
Did we even know that they were gonna do it that day?
That day,
That was a outside contractor doing
So that's your answer. Nobody knew it.
Not that day.
The exact time of day was not stated to us, if that makes sense? I probably wouldn't have been out there anyway, I don't wanna lie to you, I probably wouldn't have been out there. If they're gonna do the work on the road, I don't go out on every road that I didn't go out on the bridge, I do go look at it. Now, I've been out to that road many times, but I don't go watch the bridges, and I go to there and look.
Well, you know, I guess that's your answer. You just.
Well, we're
Yeah,
opening
didn't know, that's.
We're opening a bridge tomorrow. That's a major public event.
Sure.
I've been out there several times during construction, but I won't be there tomorrow.
Well, this was a major public event for people on Rice Road and Adams Road,
Okay.
okay? And nobody showed up to witness this, so that was my concern. And then my last comment is that I was watching and, you made the comment, Steve, did you talk to, Lost Creek? You need to talk to Lost Creek. Now, you
Yeah,
said it.
did you, yeah. Did
My
you-
question was, or that question, and my response was, that wasn't mine to do. You know, I had no business talking to Lost Creek. My question for you is, how many times have you talked to Lost Creek?
Oh, probably many.
Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Departmental reports.
As I mentioned earlier, Busick Road will be open tomorrow afternoon.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, and we'll be there.
When will the overlay start?
We'll have to send out a notice to proceed, that'll be up to the contractor. Once they receive the notice to proceed, they'll have 45 days to complete the project.
If they don't finish it in 45 days, what happens?
$1,000 a day.
$1,000 a day penalty.
That's what they're doing.
All right. Dan?
I just wanted to make a comment that the road and bridge done a fantastic job on Hazel Run Road. And I live on the neighbors that come forward and say, hey, it's great. Done a really good job on that. So we appreciate that out in that neighborhood out there around Martin Capital. That area, your deputies this last night were out till about 10 o'clock. We were on Pierce Road. You probably heard some scuttlebutt about some shots fired and a tremendous amount of officers out there. The guy has done a really good job. Nobody got hurt. The bad guy went to jail and all the officers went home safe. So if you see any of the deputies, you might let them know you appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other, you had a departmental report?
Yes, Board of Equalization,
Okay.
they have until tomorrow to request the appointment of Board of Equalization. There's currently 3 dates that we have a block of time, around 3 to 4 hour period of time that are booked for July, which is more than we had last year, less than we had 2 years ago.
Okay. I've contacted Extension for help in appointments. We need one farmer person to serve on the Board of Equalization.
You guys
We
have
have
it,
real
right?
estate,
I think we
banking,
have our,
and farming.
We have it.
We have one?
we have one that's,
Okay.
that's ready to do it.
Okay, so that's just be to replace Charles Campbell.
A farmer.
Farmer. Okay. All right, so we may have that one issue solved. Okay, any other departmental reports?
I make a motion we adjourn.
I second that. All in favor, aye.
Aye.